So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we can open the discussion with any questions that you may have.
I have a question. At the beginning you said it would be necessary to integrate different sources, not only epigraphic information but also literary and archaeological evidence.
Yes.
Do you already have some ideas about the archaeological evidence? So how do you deal with graves which are anonymous and you just can have the sex or the gender of the person or maybe the age? And how do you integrate into that in your database, which is at the moment more directed to information you get from inscriptions?
Yes. Actually, the three databases should be different and they should be reunited somehow in the end. The personal files for the archaeological context, for the dead, so to speak, should be different from these ones, definitely, because there is no point in putting, I don't know, occupation, military unit or this kind of details that can only come from written sources. But we should have different details regarding the type of grave, the artifacts, so it will basically be a different database, which I don't have the specialization to do it, certainly.
I was wondering if you can say something more about how many people are working on the project, and if it's funded, for how long, and also like how many inscriptions you're working on, because you start from inscription, then you record metadata, bibliography and stuff, and then all the persons mentioned in each single inscription, and just to have an idea of the size of how many inscriptions are we talking about, and also I'm interested in the project.
Well, this is an individual project, it's an individual fellowship for 1 year. Of course, it won't be done in 1 year. And it's funded by my university, by the Babeș-Bolyai University. This is how the name is read. It ends in September next year. I want to have as much as possible done till then, but I won't have all the persons attested, integrated in the database, or all the encodings done. The number of inscriptions I'm working on, I think the number of persons attested, because it's more important maybe than the number of inscriptions, will go somewhere around 6,000-7,000. The inscriptions are of course less, I don't know, 5,000.
So in order to get into your database, one has to be mentioned in an inscription.
Yes.
You don't use any other sources. And you don't, or can you somehow estimate from your inscriptions how many people there are in general, or do you just accept the fact that you can only mention people who are mentioned? You can only count people who are mentioned somewhere?
If I can estimate, I didn't understand the question.
So in the beginning you were saying something like estimated populations of this area, and now you only describe a very small subset of people, because this is the only about these people you have any information that you can enter. Can you somehow bridge the gap between this amount of people that you're talking about and the whole estimate of people, or what?
These demographic estimates of people are made based on many coordinates coming from density of the population in a city, economic growth or decline at a given time, etc. These estimates aren't exactly related to the epigraphic attestations. Only certain people erected inscriptions, this is clear. it is that social pyramid of Geza-Alfeld, the very famous one, with the lower layers occupying the base of the pyramid, of course. The epigraphic pyramid is upside down. The lower layers occupy the small peak of the pyramid. So demography and epigraphy, though many demographic estimates were made based on epigraphy in older literature, they aren't really connected, and the epigraphic source is not a source for demography, I think. If we are talking about the archaeological side and the graves, and they would be definitely a better indicative of real population numbers, but they aren't very well excavated in many areas, or many necropolises aren't published, or aren't published completely. So
what kind of questions do you want to ask on the material once you have finished your database and have all the data in? What sort of questions would you like to address?
I'm interested in this. I'm interested, first of all, of the exact number of people that we get.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also interested in their distribution, urban, rural, because from what I've worked, it's not exactly how we imagine it. This occupational epigraphy is very interesting to me at the time. As well, family relationships related with the epigraphic commemorative habits are very interesting, because in some cases this is not as we expected as well. We know that younger women were commemorated in epigraphy. When we actually count them, it's not necessarily like this for all areas, for all provinces, etc. Of course, other aspects might become interesting after we have the complete set of data.
Will your data be freely available?
Yes.
In its entirety, so I could download all of it?
Yes.
Can you say something more about the entity matching? So you said at the beginning, when one person is mentioned in more than one source, then it's going into the central database. And I would be interested, to know based on which criteria they are matched together. So if they have the same name, or some information are overlapping, is it you doing it? Are you doing it automatically?
This linkages and the entity resolution as well is done half
Okay.
manually, half automatically.
Yeah.
No, the same name, it's of course not a sufficient criterion.
Yeah.
In this phase, I can do it personally for the modern population databases, so where there are more individuals, and there is a group of people, a team, which only checks this person and then gives the same code if it's the same person.
Okay.
It cannot be done completely
No, of course
automatically. So it takes a lot of work and it's very time consuming. Not necessarily in this phase, because with a few thousands of people it's okay, you can do it, but if you have 10,000 of people, it's difficult.
Are there any other questions? If not, I have a final one, which concerns the standards. I think for what you are doing, like epigraphy and also geography, and now also prosopography, there are some standards becoming available. So you mentioned Eagle for the vocabulary. Are your inscriptions already covered by Eagle? So it's are they part of Eagle? And for example, are you publishing also the text of the inscriptions? No.
No, I'm not publishing the text of the inscription, because they are all already published. I'm giving the external links for them, the bibliography. I cannot reread every inscription, I don't think. Yes, they are in Eagle, or they will be in Eagle. They are not all yet.
Yeah.
Many of them are in the Heidelberg database. So yes, this is why I decided to give those external links, because these epigraphic repositories have a lot of details on the inscription itself, which I don't want to linger on because they already are there, of course.
And for the places, are you linking to Pleiades, to this gazetteer of ancient places?
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know this yet. I will link them to Google Maps for now because it's very simple and it's freeware and everything. And yes, ideally I would link them to the Pleiades at some point, but I'm not doing this right now. In the future, yes, they should be linked to the Pleiades.
Great. Thank you again.
Thank you.